everyone, and welcome to the Orange County School Board's regular meeting scheduled for Tuesday, June 11th, 2024. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. All of our members are in attendance except for Member Gould, who is possibly participating by phone. No. Okay. So we have everyone but Member Gould here. As a reminder, board members will not be engaging in outside electronic or digital communication during our meeting so that we can focus our full attention on the business before us. To my fellow board members, district staff, and any members of the public who may be using the microphone, please speak directly into the microphone as they're very sensitive, but we want our YouTube and Orange TV viewers to be able to hear you clearly. We will begin our meeting with a moment of silence, and then I invite you to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Now for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Dr. Vasquez, before we start on recognitions, let me ask you, are there any changes to the agenda?
No, Madam Chair, there are no changes to the agenda.
All right, with no changes to the agenda, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as advertised. Motion by Member Castor-Denel, seconded by Member Byrd. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, although school is out, the excellence of OCPS is year-round, I'm proud to say. So I am proud to share some wonderful recognitions before tonight's order of business. First, I want to acknowledge two OCPS alumni who graduated from Apopka and Boone High Schools a few weeks ago. The two students received $2,500 each from the Hispanic Chamber of Metro Orlando Scholarship Fund that was set up in honor of Dr. Vasquez. I'd now like to invite Dr. Vasquez to tell us a little bit more about these stellar students and the scholarships they've received. And first, turn your microphone on and speak directly into it.
And
So our YouTube and Orange TV viewers.
Microphones are coming.
Wow.
Last December, I was honored to be a recipient of the Don Quixote Excellence Award. The award is sponsored by the Hispanic Chamber of Metro Orlando and Prospera, an economic development nonprofit. Each year, they honor successful individuals and businesses who are visionary and courageous dreamers like Don Quixote. As part of the accolade, I received a $5,000 award, and I wanted to use those funds to establish the Hispanic Heritage Scholarship through the Foundation for Orange County Public Schools. Each winner had to be a Hispanic female high school senior with at least a 3.0 GPA on a scale of 4.0, in good standing at her high school, and qualified for free or reduced price lunch program. The first in her family to attend college, seeking a 4-year post-secondary degree at a public or private college or university. Each applicant also had to submit a statement or video about their educational goals and motivation. It is just such an honor that our community supports public education and that we're able to give back and help our children as they are continuing on their journey. I know how important education was to me in my pathway and how much my parents valued education. So I am happy to announce that the first two students to receive $2,500 each from the Hispanic Heritage Scholarship Fund are Mia Perez Interiano of Apopka High School and Lola Fontanes of Boone High School. I'm so proud that both young women were accepted to 6 colleges and universities each. Mia will be attending Florida Atlantic University and plans to study pre-law. And we are always in need of attorneys, so when you're done, come see me. And Lola will be studying political science and journalism at the University of Central Florida. Congratulations, Mia and Lola. You both worked so hard and are so deserving of the scholarship. I cannot wait to see what the future holds for each of you.
Wonderful. Can we get Mia and Lola to come up to the front here with Dr. Vasquez to get a picture? And also Principal Hines, Assistant Principal.
Yes. Weren't you one of them? Awesome.
And we have parents.
We have parents.
All right, next I'd like to recognize JoJo's Shake Bar. They are 2024 Crystal Award recipients for representing the best of the best among our partners in education. The Point Orlando restaurant supports Timber Creek's Middle School by providing its students with candygrams and with staff with treats. They also support the Wolverine of the Month and other campus programs. Manager Jay Namar, I hope I have that right, Smith, yes, thank you, was involved in a car accident, unfortunately, on the way to the Crystal Awards and couldn't attend the ceremony at SeaWorld Orlando. So we're excited to have Jay Namar and his coworkers who were in the car with him. Oh my gosh. Bad day, huh? I'm glad everybody's okay. They're all okay. Oh yeah, it says it right here. You're okay, good. I'd now like to invite the Foundation for OCPS Executive Director Debbie Pedraza to the podium so she can tell us a little bit more about JoJo Shake Bar, Shakes Bar. Yes, JoJo's Shake Bar.
Thank you, Chair Jacobs. Yes, you're absolutely right. Since they began their partnership, JoJo's Shake Bar has helped in nearly every activity at Timber Springs Middle School. Whether it's providing those items for Student Government Association's Candygram fundraiser, supporting Wolverine of the Month, as you mentioned, or just brainstorming with staff about new ways to add sweet treats into the day-to-day. JoJo's has even provided 67 gift cards at $20 per card. That can buy a lot of those delicious shakes to recognize the work of Timber Springs Middle School's teachers. JoJo's Shake Bar has this to say about becoming a partner. We are aware of the everyday effort, commitment, and resources that educators, support staff, and administrators dedicate on behalf of their pupils, classrooms, and educational institutions. We are glad we can contribute in a nice way to honoring people who truly merit special recognition. I'd like to invite Jay Namar Smith to the podium from JoJo Shake Bar to join me up here, and we have his award. I believe that has already been provided to you, right? Thank you so much.
Thank you
Would you
so
like to
much.
say a word or two?
Oh, sure. I just want to, hello everyone.
Hello.
My name is Jay Namar Smith. I'm the events and catering manager at JoJo Shake Bar. I do just want to say thank you so very much for us being selected on this award. We do strive continually to be a part of our community in every location we build. Thank you.
Thank you. Don't step away quite so fast. I mean, I'm really excited to have you here and to have somebody who understands how important public education is. I don't know, oftentimes I feel like the public just takes it for granted, and there's nothing to take for granted about public education. It's so critical. So thanks for knowing that. Now, I do have one important question. I haven't been to JoJo's Shake Bar before, but I love a good shake. So what's your favorite?
My favorite is going to be a nice twist on a great classic, which is the chocolate Nirvana.
Okay,
It's
got
a
it.
chocolate and Oreo shake. It's the best.
All right.
We're working
Whoa.
on your reservation, so you just let me know.
Okay, I'm coming to see you. All right, can we get, we have Principal Hines here? No?
No, Subasis.
Princess of Aces.
Oh, Principal Subasis.
Yes.
Subasis,
Subasis.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you for all that you do. That's my school, so I really appreciate it.
I'm always a fan of that area. That part.
It was stolen.
It was stolen.
Nobody's better at that. Okay. Wonderful.
Your Avalon Elementary.
Congratulations. Thank you. Jessica Swain?
Yeah.
She's great. She's awesome.
She's like a great.
She's very kind, and she's very big on the, like the energy school. So you ready? So good. She's huge on that. She's good. So yes. Yeah. Solid. Yeah. She can do what she needs to do.
All right, Dr. Vasquez, do you have any newly appointed administrators?
I do. This evening we have 2 administrators that we are appointing, and they're both principals. So the first appointee is Mari Carmen Aponte, who is Senior Administrator for Curriculum Support in the high school division, and she's going to be the new principal at Lake Buena Vista High School.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair, Superintendent Vasquez, Deputy Superintendent Ambruster, Deputy Superintendent Williams, and school board members for the opportunity to serve as the new principal for Lake Buena Vista High School. I would like to thank Mr. Jose Martinez, Executive Leader, for believing, guiding, coaching, and challenging me in ways that continue to shape the leader in me. It all started 20 years ago with Mr. Moody when he hired me as a paraprofessional. Wow. And continue with Dr. Tim Smith, Dr. Border, Dr. Doyle, and Dr. Trimble. Thank you for all the opportunities that helped me grow. To the best principal leaders, Dr. Dispensa, Dr. Chen, and Dr. Paduano, thank you for the daily lessons of do's and don'ts. To my very supportive and loving husband, my 2 boys, Roberto and Christian, my grandbabies, Camila and Jael, my daughter-in-law, Jailene, thank you for standing beside me and for supporting my career goals. I will make you all proud. Mom and Dad, sister, I could not have done this without your guidance and motivation. This one is for you. I'm excited, committed, and ready to create opportunities for all students at Lake Buena Vista High School with the support of my team, teachers, staff, community, and all stakeholders. Go Vipers!
Yeah.
Next, we have Emilio Giovanni Vituli, who is the assistant principal at West Ridge Middle School, who is going to be the new principal at Meadow Woods Middle School.
Thank you. I'd like to start off by thanking the school board members, Dr. Vasquez and staff, for giving me the opportunity to serve at Meadow Woods Middle School. And for everybody here, as I look around, there's so many people here that have paved the way for me since I was a young administrator. Never gave up on me, even when I wanted to give up on myself. I can name them all, from the people who made me an AP, all the way down to my own high school principal who gave me my first teaching job and made me actually a student tutor at the age of 16, and then gave me my first teaching job basically right out of college, and had me working from then on, and I haven't stopped since. I look forward to giving my all to Meadow Woods, as I have for the past 20 plus years in education. Education saved me, changed my life. I come from nothing. My wife couldn't be here. I thank her. She's at work. She works in the legal field, so you know how that goes, long days, especially when things are hot, right? But with that being said, my kids, my 3 kids, the one in college, the 10-year-old, the 5-year-old. But honestly and seriously, this is life-changing, not just for me, for my family, and for those who live in me and will come from me. So thank you very much, and I look forward to serving Stallions with pride.
Wow. Well, it's all I can say. Pardon me. Yeah, so proud of both of these individuals. I'm really excited. We're going to get a picture. Let's do it. Yeah, wow. Paraprofessional, is that awesome?
What? Oh, yeah. I got you my equivalent of Dario.
Who?
The UCF kid.
Oh,
Congratulations.
It's just so cool. So cool. And the appreciation. Okay, at this time, I'd like to call on Matt Turner, President-elect of the Orange County Association of School Administrators, to say a few words. So good to have you with us.
Thank you. Very good to be here as always. Thank you. I am Matt Turner, Chair of the Legal Services for Orange County, and I will be acting as president next year. So I'm looking forward to another great year working with Dr. Armbruster, Dr. Vasquez, and the whole team. So I'm here tonight with a brief update as a representative of our school-based assistant principals and principals. Any good principal knows that to be, thank you very much, yes.
Yes.
You know, my eyes are getting bad, so it's like I can't even read anymore. All right, any good principal knows that to be an effective educator, we must provide a rigorous curriculum, stretch the mind of our students through an amazing pedagogy, but take their mind off of all of this work through a collaboration and a little fun. Last week, all of our assistant principals and principals participated in the Instructional Leadership Institute, where Dr. Armbruster, Dr. Schuler, Dr. Brown-Cannon, Dr. Bradshaw, and all of their teams, they did just this. They managed to train our instructional leaders in some incredible literacy strategies that they could take back with them to their schools. They encouraged a collaboration amongst all schools and levels, and we even managed to have a little fun to distract us from all the learning, to keep us engaged in the content. If you know principals, you know we complain about a lot of things. Mike will attest to that. I complain to him all the time. But when you throw a little fun in, that's all they talk about. And I will tell you, we enjoyed lunch. We laughed a lot while taking pictures. We engaged in the most fun activity I've ever been a part of in OCPS, which was a pep rally for our administrators. And I don't know if you heard about it,
No.
but there are some epic stories that came out of this pep rally.
Are there any, is there any video?
Listen, there are video.
Yes!
But I wasn't going to say it. I was going to push you to Dr. Armbruster. But I've been here for 20 years. I know a lot of people, right? I know a lot of these people. I've come up through the ranks with them. They remember me when I was a teacher, right? It was at West Orange, so we told our students to run it, right? So I'm proud of my kids because they ran it. We just let them run it. But they did a pep rally, and there was a part of the pep rally where it was finish the lyrics. And listen, these principals and assistant principals are lined up on the line, and they are engaged, right? And listen, I feel embarrassed to say this, but I still don't know who this person is. Do you? We don't know who this person is. He's an assistant principal in this district. If he's watching, I'm so sorry. Is he back here? No. Yeah. Okay, listen, I'm sorry he's here. But wait, what's your name? Okay, Clinton is here. That's him. Okay, listen. Clinton is a legend. Okay? Clinton is a legend. Because here is why he's a legend. One of the
Yes,
finished the
Clinton,
lyrics.
we're hearing about it.
Listen, you did great. But listen, one of the finished your lyrics, and listen, if I saw him, look, he looks kind of quiet and shy. He's not quiet and shy. Okay? One of the finished lyrics was Beyonce's Put a Ring on It. So our student held the mic, and once it was done, one of the people had to rush out there and grab the mic. He not only grabbed, look, my time's done, but you're going to want me to finish this story.
You're fine.
He not only grabbed the mic, but he ran to the crowd, because there was a crowd, and he did the whole dance. He did this. Listen, I was running around the gym. Like a madman going, is this really happening? Listen. Thank you, sir.
Shake his hand.
Yeah, he's not up here shaking.
It was the best.
This is on TV. Right here. I'm going beside you. After I did it,
We've lost control.
and I said, I made a complete fool of myself in front of all of Orange County Public Schools. You got it.
Now it's going to be all of our YouTube followers.
Go all the way. I'm just here to support my wonderful team. Congratulations. Thank you. You made the day.
That's all they were talking about was the poor student got stampeded by 3 or 4 because they wanted to get it so much. There was a Taylor Swift song, and the whole crowd was singing it. We've never had such positive feedback. Mike called me before and he said, we're going to do this pep rally. It's a little crazy. I said, but the best ideas are always a little crazy up front. And they can't stop talking about it. Everywhere I go, everybody that reaches out to me, that's all they're talking about. We don't love PD any more than anyone else. We need it, but we don't love it. But that's all they're talking about because we were engaged and we saw a different side of our administrators. It was literally the most fun thing. If you know me, I'll do whatever they tell me to do, right? My kids are always telling me, put this hat on, do something crazy, sure, whatever. It's all for them. So they tell me afterwards, you got to go in this room when we're done. Okay. So I go in there and I'm putting on these inflatable cow suits. I'm running around, right? But there was like 10 or 12 of us in all these inflatable suits. But it was the best experience because we learned a ton. I don't want to take away from the fact that the instruction and what we learned was great. But to pepper in that fun, I felt like that was just like school, right? I have to make sure this school is fun for the kids, but we have to learn a lot. And if you don't have both, you're losing. And we had both. So kudos to Dr. Armbruster, Dr. Bradshaw, Dr. Brown-Cannon, and Dr. Schuler for allowing this to happen. They'll be talking about it. They'll be talking about Clinton. Yep. They'll be talking about a lot of people in there. People were falling on the ground laughing. It was just such a good experience. So I just wanted to give you an update from the principal's side. We could have walked out of there and just said, oh, this is awful. Why did we do this? They loved it. They haven't stopped talking about it. I've gotten 50 emails from people. Everywhere I go, they want to talk to us about it. A little bit is because it was my school, but mostly because I'm the one they're seeing. But thank you, Dr. A, for doing this. Thank you, Dr. V, for letting this happen. It was incredible. And if you weren't there, you missed out because it was awesome.
I'm really not happy right now. So at the beginning, I really want. Oh wow. Now you needed it earlier. At the beginning of your comments, I'm really wanting to understand more about this science of reading. So you're talking, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could have come. I probably could have learned something. Then you got into the rest of the story. I'm like, oh, darn. I really wish I could have come. So there is video?
There's some video.
Oh, I want to see the video.
I know someone sent me one of me running around in a cow suit, of course, but
Yeah. And there's pictures. There's
There's pictures,
great.
yeah.
There's one that's my favorite that has, I think it's 650. Is that the right number, Dr. Armbruster?
It's over 600.
Okay. 600 over, yeah. And they're spelling out OCPS. So we are one OCPS.
Wow. Dr. Vasquez, were you there?
Dr.
missed it, huh?
Armbruster loves to
gosh.
talk, right? If you don't know Dr. Armbruster. And so I was heading to Tampa
Oh,
for FADS. So the plan was that I would go say hello and greet them during the lunchtime and then head out to Tampa. So apparently he was very inspiring in the morning and went over by like 30 minutes. And so they were behind schedule. And so I didn't get to greet them. So I got to visit a couple of the classrooms. And what I thought was phenomenal was that there were principals presenting, 2 principals and assistant principals, and there were assistant principals as well, presenting about things that they were doing in their school, around culture, around instruction, around data. And the rooms were packed. People were talking about what they were learning from their colleagues. And so then I got to see pictures, and I did get a couple of videos too. So I think it was phenomenal, and I'm so thankful that you brought it up. I was going to say something at the end, but I wouldn't have done it justice. Thank you.
It was great. Thank you for doing it.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. Yeah, well, you can't be in a room with Dr. Armbruster and not laugh. It's just not possible. You can't be on the floor. Actually, I don't think you could be in the building without knowing he's in the building and having fun, right? Whew. But that's wonderful. And I'm also, I'm such a fan and believer that the best teachers are your colleagues. And the more we share our strengths, the more we grow, not just individually, but we grow together. And that team that we can create is so important. And it sounds like you guys just had an absolute blast creating that team. Clinton, so glad you're here. So glad you're here. All right, I will pay for the videos. Just let me know where it's coming from. All right, anything else?
Nope, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Oh, what a great way to start the meeting. Do we have to do anything else? Yes. Oh, okay. Okay. Right? How about that he's here because, oh, wow. Okay, next we have a proclamation proclaiming June 19th as Juneteenth Day here in Orange County Public Schools. And I want to ask Member Felder if she would read the proclamation.
Yes, I would love to. Thank you, Chair Jacobs. Orange County Public Schools Proclamation, Juneteenth, June 19, 2024. Whereas,
Oh, that's not appropriate.
many municipalities and organizations across the nation annually commemorate the end of slavery in the United States by celebrating Juneteenth. And whereas on January 1st, 1863, President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation declaring that all persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of a state, the people whereof shall be then thenceforward and forever free. And whereas President Lincoln correctly declared slavery to be in violation of the principles of the Declaration of Independence, and that its abolition represented a new birth of freedom for the United States. And whereas more than 2 years passed before the news reached African Americans living in Texas on June 19, 1865. And whereas the following year, the first official Juneteenth celebrations took place in Texas and have continued across the United States throughout the years. And whereas Juneteenth is the oldest nationally celebrated commemoration of the ending of slavery. And whereas Orange County Public Schools recognizes Juneteenth as a time for serious reflection and rejoicing regarding an end to a very dark time in American history. Now, therefore, the School Board of Orange County, Florida does hereby declare June 19, 2024 as Juneteenth Day in Orange County Public Schools.
Great job. every time I hear that, I was just like 2 years. Oh, man. All right. Next up, Dr. Vasquez, you want to introduce the next subject?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
It's probably a good time for us to let our guests know that you all are welcome to leave if you'd like, or stay if you'd prefer. Bye-bye.
Madam Chair and board members, I am so excited for tonight's strategic plan update. We are officially launching our path to renovating our strategic plan, which will sunset June 30th of 2025. We are beginning with the end in mind, and you will hear tonight about Portrait of a Graduate. And I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Border, our strategic officer, who will introduce our guests from Hanover, who are incredible partners, and give you a glimpse as to what you will be hearing about.
Good evening, Chair Jacobs, members of the board, Superintendent Vasquez, and staff. I'm extremely excited to share the work over the past year on the development of our Orange County Public Schools Portrait of a Graduate. Our strategic plan serves as our roadmap for the success of our vision to ensure every student has a successful and promising future. The Portrait of a Graduate is a key component to the final year of the current strategic plan and also setting the stage for the OCPS 2030 strategic plan, which will be our guiding star as we make decisions. Part of this work included elevating the voice of our staff, students, family, and industry sector leaders. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Sean Watkins, who serves as content director at one of our incredible partners, Hanover Research, and will share their collaboration with Orange County Public Schools. And as Dr. Watkins comes over, he's joining us tonight from Michigan, and also in the audience is Principal Director at Hanover, Lisa Stein, and we work very closely with Sean and Lisa on multiple projects. So, Dr. Watkins.
Thank you so much, Dr. Border. It's a pleasure to be speaking with all of you this evening. Thank you for your time. So at Hanover Research, we support school districts all over the country in using data to make positive changes in their schools. In the following slides, I'm going to discuss our project work with OCPS over the last year. We have used research-based metrics and community input to assist OCPS in better understanding how to develop an actionable portrait of a graduate for all OCPS students. This presentation includes findings and themes from across 3 studies: benchmarking portrait of a graduate focus groups, and a portrait of a graduate survey. We completed 3 studies to support the development of a portrait of a graduate: a benchmarking report, focus groups, and a survey. The benchmarking report documents how peer and exemplar districts develop their own portraits. The portrait of a graduate focus groups engage with industry leaders to better understand their perceptions related to successful graduates and employees. And finally, the portrait of a graduate survey was conducted with staff, students, parents, industry leaders, and other community partners to gain further insight into what skills the community feels OCPS students need to be successful in life post-graduation. The first section summarizes findings from all 3 studies related to key traits students need to be successful post-graduation. We begin with soft skills, which are also referred to as power or durable skills. The most commonly referenced crucial soft skill for graduates by industry leaders in focus groups include competencies such as interpersonal communication, work ethic and work ethic, and problem-solving skills. Participants frequently emphasize soft skills as the most important skills for graduates to be successful, even more so than industry training or academic accomplishments. Oops. I think we got it. Communication and professionalism were the most commonly referenced soft skill that industry leaders believe are crucial for graduates. The majority of all survey respondents, including parents, students, and staff members, identified problem-solving skills, critical thinking skills, and communication skills as the most important soft skills for academic growth. Surveyed community members believe that personal responsibility with respect for others is a crucial quality for graduates. They believe in the development of respect, self-advocacy, and moral judgment within students. Peer and exemplar districts emphasize the need for graduates to communicate well, think critically, and be engaged in their communities. Industry leaders identified a need for graduates to have the following academic competencies: writing, reading comprehension, literacy, basic mathematics, and challenging coursework. Industry leaders also want to ensure that students know how to approach and navigate complex workplace situations. Math and science skills were most strongly emphasized by employers in fields such as STEM and construction. However, employers also emphasize the need for students to have strong literacy skills across all focus groups and industry types. In one focus group, an employer shared that many young employees use text speak to send emails rather than full proper sentences. There is a desire for graduates to be well-versed in a variety of communication skills. Peer and exemplar districts also emphasize the importance of students becoming critical thinkers as well as inquisitive learners. This slide demonstrates some of the tenets that these districts have included in their portrait of a graduate. In addition to soft and academic skills, industry leaders believe that students need to learn more hard skills that are applicable to most workplaces, such as interview skills, writing emails, and basic computer functions. Many employers from the focus groups emphasize that their industries usually require candidates to have prior work experience in the industry, such as work-based learning, training hours, or advanced degrees and credentials. Focus group participants assert that some industries offer a wide range of positions that may or may not require a college degree. In some cases, technical certifications can replace the need for an advanced degree. Moving right along, Section 2, preparation. This next section summarizes considerations for OCPS regarding preparation for students for post-graduation success. Based on results from the Portrait of a Graduate survey, community members generally agree that OCPS prepares students for critical life skills after high school. There is an opportunity for OCPS to improve in the areas of collaborating with others, thinking critically, and managing emotions. Industry leaders also indicate positive experiences overall with OCPS graduates. They also believe that many students do not have adequate knowledge about career paths, which impacts their ability to pursue a career that matches their interests and skills. Staff members indicate that the most challenging skills for graduates to develop are problem-solving skills, critical thinking skills, and respect for others. Industry leaders indicate that there is an unevenness in preparation across OCPS schools and a need for more foundational career readiness and life skills instruction. They suggest that OCPS consider better facilitation of career opportunities amongst all of its schools, not just those with career academies. And then finally, our recommendations for consideration. Based on the results from these projects, Hanover recommends that OCPS considers the following recommendations. Emphasize soft skills or durable skills in the development of OCPS's profile of a graduate. Based on employer and community feedback, the portrait should focus on developing soft skills in students from an early age. These include communication, interpersonal skills, empathy, active listening, accountability, work ethic, critical thinking, problem solving, and receptiveness to feedback. Alongside these traits, OCPS should continue to strengthen students' literacy and math skills, as they are fundamental across all industries. Results from focus groups indicate that OCPS should ensure that all students receive early career exposure and career readiness opportunities. Likewise, OCPS should impart basic workplace skill development, such as building a resume, applying for jobs, interviewing, and proficiency in common workplace technology practices. OCPS programming should continue developing student resiliency. Survey respondents rate OCPS students lower in conflict resolution and the ability to manage emotions. The district can continue implementing programs or initiatives that provide students with opportunities to apply these skills in supportive environments.
Thanks, Dr. Watkins. We look forward to collaborating with the school board, cabinet, and all of our stakeholders on the development of our OCPS 2030 strategic plan. Next steps will include presenting a finalized portrait of a graduate to all of our stakeholders for the beginning of the 2024-2025 school year. Also conducting multiple planning sessions with the school board and cabinet relative to our vision, mission, values, and market differentiators. Next, establishing our OCPS 2030 working groups for each division as we develop goals, objectives, and key performance indicators. Then we'll be sharing a draft of our Orange County Public Schools 2030 strategic plan with stakeholders for feedback. And then ultimately presenting a finalized 2030 strategic plan to the school board, after which we'll develop our cross-functional working groups by each key performance indicator to develop annual measures of success for the 2025-2026 school year. Thank you for the opportunity to share the work with Hanover on the development of our portrait of a graduate. We look forward to the conversation tonight, and I turn it back over to Superintendent Vasquez.
Thank you, Dr. Watkins and Dr. Border. This really validates a lot of what we have been hearing from our industry partners, what we're seeing across the country as you're hearing the various industries. And I am excited that we are starting off on such a tremendous journey. We will be engaged with a consultant. Some of you were part of our previous renovation of the plan. You know that it will involve time for us to review data, to review our current plan, and then have meaningful conversations about what it is that we want to be able to accomplish. We will involve various stakeholders in that process, and I can't think of a more exciting time for us. And so, Madam Chair, I turn it back over to the board for questions and comments.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's hear from Member Ferrant.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Dr. Border. And this was actually one of my favorite phone calls that I've received this week, and just going over this, every single thing in this is literally what we've been talking about at this board table. The things that we are seeing when we're in the schools, comments that we get from parents, students, just everybody in the community. This is 100%, I think we are headed in the right direction. The key will be how can we get there, because this really is the ideal graduate, is somebody who possesses these skills. And so things that stood out to me that I feel like we could definitely work on now, that I'd love to see kind of tied in. The professionalism, I think we can tie that to our dress code. And that's something I think when we look at that professionalism and how are we setting a standard of professionalism where they come to school and they know, just like when they go to work, there is like a type of dress code that you have to wear, and following that. The work ethic, turning work in on time, and I love that we're kind of working with our teachers to make sure that they get grades in on time. But I also think, maybe I put a standard too high, but I feel like if a teacher says this Friday is the due date, like this Friday is the due date. And then we encourage our teachers to start lowering that grade, and if they don't turn it in within a certain amount of time, because that really does put a pressure on students to go, hey, I gotta step up my game. They're not playing around anymore, because they definitely like to, when they realize that teachers are a little more lenient, or okay, we'll give you grace, which grace is amazing when necessary, and but I think having maybe being a little more rigorous and having those some more like parameters where kids, I think they do well when they know that there's like boundaries and such. Page 6, how the industry is wanting that, the professionalism, communication, all of those things. We touched on that earlier about the learning how to type and write an email in proper form. And I think teaching those things as soon as we can in fun ways, even when they're in 4th, 5th grade, and saying, hey, we're going to type up a mock email to Santa, like I'm making this up, but something like that where it's a fun type of thing, but already teaching them from a young age so that as they get into high school and now out of and go into the workforce, they have those skills. And then just the foundational skills and career readiness. I think my other thing I really would love to see, and you touched on this with the trade schools and whatnot, I'll wrap it up. But just making sure that we help our students understand that some kids are going to want to be in that 4-year college, but others that may not be what you want to go for, and helping them understand that there is no right or wrong and there's no better or worse, but that they're all awesome options, and then helping them decide what courses would be best. So very excited about this. Excited to hear what others have to say.
Okay, Member Byrd.
Thank you. I just when I think I cannot get more excited about something, this is by far just, I think, one of the most significant things that we have done. It's starting at the end. What do we want to see at the end? And then let's work our way back. And how do we get there? And I think it is so incredibly valuable. Kudos to you, Superintendent, for doing this, to the team. Thank you so much for this data. This input is so incredibly valuable. And I tell you, when I was reflecting on this and looking at all this, when you look at that the industry leaders are wanting those soft skills as well as some of those hard skills, it really, all that comes to mind is our 3DE programs and our alternative education programs like Randall and Universal. Those programs are perfect examples of this. And when you go and talk to those kids that are in those programs, they have those soft skills. They will look at you in the eye. They should, I was at those graduations. They shook your hand firmly. They looked at you in the eye. They talked back to you, and you talked to them in very respectful manners. They have those soft skills, and they also are teaching them those interview skills and those email skills, and they have goals. They have goals for themselves. They know what they want to do next. So I really think that we are on the precipice of something great here if we really harness this and get into it even more and keep expanding those great programs that we're doing in some of our schools. And when I was at that graduation, Randall Construction gave 3 students full-time jobs that had been in that program. And when I was listening to him speak, the gentleman from Randall that was there, he was talking about one of these students in particular. He was bragging on him, but he wasn't talking about his construction skills or his human resources skills, or, because they work in all the areas of the company. weather there. He was talking about this kid is hardworking. He's a problem solver. When we need something done, we can put him in there, and we know he'll go in there and he'll work hard and he'll learn what he needs to do. It was all those soft skills that this student had, and that's why they offered him this job. So I think that if we really think outside the box, and you and I have talked so many times, Dr. Border, about thinking outside the box and where we can change and be flexible where we can with our students, I think that we could really do something great with this. And then I just wanted to put in a little one more thing for debate, increasing our participation. In fact, I would actually like every high school student to be required to take it, because it teaches all of those soft skills, being able to listen to somebody when you disagree really personally with their opinion, but being able to communicate back. It teaches that resiliency and not getting, controlling the emotions and all of that. I think that it would be so valuable if we could have every kid participate in speech and debate. Thank you.
And it also teaches them to stay within the time frame that they've been given. And on that note, Vice Chair, let's see how you do.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I agree with what Member Byrd just said about debate. I would add FFA to that, because if you've ever seen those kids do parliamentary procedures and the way that they interact, that they learn the same skills, and they're competing and they have to work hard because they're presenting livestock. We have so many really good programs that kind of can emulate the skills that we're looking for. We just got to get the kids involved. So the first thing, Randall and Universal and all those great programs, we got to stop calling them alternate education. That within itself is like a negative title that makes you think that they're there because they couldn't cut it somewhere else. And it's not an alternate education. It's choice education. The kids are choosing to go to those type of programs. And I was talking to Mr. Moody about that this week. I'm like, we got to quit calling it alt ed. So I love this, and I share the excitement of my fellow board members. I think that this is a great thing. I don't know that any of us are surprised by the soft skills or the lack thereof. I think that we see that every day. When we were first started talking about Portrait of a Graduate, we really tasked Dr. Border with making sure he includes industry leaders, because that was a vital part of this program, right? It was a vital part of what we needed to know so that we could really help provide a skilled workforce. And what do you need or what you're lacking in seeing. So I don't know that I was shocked by a lot that was in this. Basic computer function, as Member Front mentioned, we were just talking about that earlier, about the need to do that. And some of we're constrained in certain areas with certifications, because the state really doesn't want us teaching Microsoft, or there's constraints because they really want to see credentialing programs or CTE programs that can show a high wage or get you to a high wage, and sometimes they don't always see the path that we in Orange County might see. But that's another story. I love this whole thing. What I'm more excited about than this plan is the implementation of this plan, because it's in the implementation, it's how we roll it out, it's how we get it into schools that really matters. We can talk about something all day, but if we don't act on it, do on it, then our results aren't going to change. And a lot of times the very things we talked about today are pushed to the side for academic reasons, because we've got to meet these academic benchmarks. We've got to meet these things, and a lot of these kids that would be perfect for some of these programs are in credit recovery classes or they're in remedial classes because they're struggling. So we really kind of need to identify that. And as they said here, soft skills are as important, if not more important. And then I have a question, and I'm going to get it in quick because then my time's going to be up. Discrepancy between the staff and parents, that kind of cracked me up, because parents think that their kids are fabulous and staff's like, not that respectful. And then I'd like to know, well, that's what the survey said. And then I'd like to know who the target audience was for the survey. Like, how did you determine who you surveyed to get this information? Thank you.
So Chair Jacobs.
Please.
So Vice Chair Gallo, thank you, and also Board Member Front, Board Member Byrd, appreciate the feedback. But to your question, Ms. Gallo, so we surveyed, the survey went to all of our parents, all of our staff members, it went to our 11th and 12th grade students, and then for industry sector, community members, we worked with Scott Howitt's team to get all of our partners. And then for industry sectors, we worked with Dr. Grant to get all of our industry sector leaders. We also reached out to the board to get your feedback. We actually reached out to over 270 industry sector leaders, and then they were invited to not just complete the survey, but to participate in the focus group. And so I'll segue that into Dr. Watkins. Want to add to that?
Yeah, I'll just say that Portrait of a Graduate is something that we've worked with many districts on across the country. It's something that I think folks are utilizing as a framework to move forward, particularly in the world that we are in now, with students struggling with some of these soft skills concerns. And so we included the folks that are going to give the most impactful information to the district in order to kind of create this Portrait of a Graduate. And it's really important based on best practices as well as our experiences to include as many voices as possible in that process so that you can move forward with a positive path that is going to be impactful in the end, which is why we at Hanover really like to look at research questions from a variety of methodologies. So we did focus groups, we did surveys, we did benchmarking, so that you all have a lot of information to apply to those action steps coming up. Yeah.
All right, Member Salamanca.
Thank you so much for your work and all the different aspects and points of views that you brought in. It really is helpful to have it. Similar to my peers up here, I'm not surprised by a lot of the feedback here. I think all of this was, we've seen it, we know it, but it's great to have that back us up. A couple of things. One, debate. I mean, that was the thing that made me in this district in terms of the one extracurricular that I really dedicated my time to, and the skill set that I learned to debate was beyond anything that I could learn in the classroom or in college or in the workplace. It was truly incredible, not just from how you behave, but how you think about problems, how you think about both sides of every problem, just how nuanced you become. So it was incredible. I would be incredibly supportive of, I think just in general, as we think about the implementation of this, debate, FFA, SGA, like some of these extracurriculars, I think that we've definitely left up to schools, up to sponsors to structure and organize how they think is best. Obviously knowing that our teachers are not getting paid a lot of extra money for doing a lot of this. But it does bring up the question long term on how much more structure or maybe hands-on do we need to be as a district when it comes to some of these programs, because we know that they are actually now, like, we're kind of expanding the purview of education into some of these soft skills. And historically, that has been a lot more decentralized. It's been a lot less dictated from the district on what some of these, SGAs do a variety of things across different schools, and that's great. But also, if we know that these are the places where students are learning these skills, how do we make those SGA classroom hours count and those debate hours count? So a lot of questions that come up from that. In my long-term weekend, I read this book. I was trying to figure out, I've been going down the rabbit hole of the Finland PISA results, right? So folks know there's this PISA test that goes, it's an international test. They basically pick 15-year-old students from all over the OECD countries. They test them on reading, on math, on science, with a focus on being able to implement that knowledge in real life situations rather than just curriculum content. And they kind of rank the countries, and Finland has historically been at the top of that. All that stuff came out for a while. Every expert in education went out to Finland trying to figure out what was going on. There was a group of experts that basically dismissed it and said, look, this is a small country, it's homogeneous, it's fairly wealthy, there's a lot of social nets, like, the US cannot replicate this. Since then, there's been even more research on what can we actually take from Finland. And there was a couple of things. One was they focus so heavily on getting a student to love learning as soon as possible. And what they also found was that the love for learning can only come from having comfort with reading. So that's just like, because everything you learn you learn it through reading in some way, shape, or form. And if you don't have comfort with reading, you're basically having multiple friction points, because reading is hard, so therefore learning is hard, and everything that's learning is difficult. And that's when we see our students disengage and no longer want to learn because it's just hard and it's difficult. So I think that reading will always be key. And my very last thing that they did figure out from Finland was that they were very successful in teaching all kinds of subjects as soon as they figured out what each student loved. And because once you figure out what a student loves and cares about, then you can engage them in any topic or subject, and therefore then you can bring them in. And so there was a component of this on every student is different, the things they love are different, and how do we personalize that journey a little bit more, whether it's like the first grade teacher passes on the notes to the second grade teacher that the student loves trucks, or the student loves railroads, or just a little bit more of that longevity and informational transfer of what our students love and engage with, I think would be incredible. Thank you.
Excellent. Couldn't agree more. Member Front.
I wanted to just add one more thing about Leader in Me. I know I've talked about it before, but several of my schools in District 3 use Leader in Me. Are you all? Everybody knows what it is. So I've seen it now in the middle school and then elementary. And basically these hard skills on page 11, like it says basic phone skills. So one of the things they'll have students in the classroom, they're the communications officer for the classroom that week, and they have to answer the phone. If the phone rings, instead of the teacher picking it up, they ask the student. They would be in charge, and they have to say, "Hello, Miss Frant's room. How can I help you?" So it's teaching them those little, simple, and that's even at the kindergarten age, all the way to middle school right now that I have. But I would love to see more schools. I know it's a school-based decision, but I would love to see more schools pick this type of program up. Not every program is for every school, and I understand that it's not like a copy and paste, but definitely a really cool, just the 7 habits of being successful, basically. And so just a little shout out for that Leader in Me. I think it'd be amazing, but I'm excited for this Science of Reading. I think this next year we're going to see some incredible results, so appreciate it again.
Thank you, Member Front. Member Castellano.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for your presentation. I want to just add another perspective on what to expect from a graduate. And these are based on some things that I've seen or noticed that many of our graduates are lacking as well. The ability to navigate government entities and civic engagement. I don't know if our students are graduating understanding their power and their agency. So it's not just about the soft skills that they might need as an employee, but how can they direct their lives with the power that they have in their voice. I mean, I think it goes along with what they're learning in a debate class, but also when would you use that? Not just in a classroom setting, but when is those skills useful in your life going forward? I mean, so there's a lot of change that a student can make when they realize the power and the responsibility they have for civic engagement. I don't know if, I'm sure there's a place somewhere in this portrait of a graduate, but when I look at, I know that Member Salamanca was comparing people to, graduates in Finland. I know students in Europe often have a much greater command of being civically engaged at an earlier age. And I think that's an important part that should be considered. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Castellano. Any other comments from board members? All right, great job. I think the question that I'm still not 100% clear on, when you talk about these focus groups, are those local or are you talking about national? Local?
Local industry leaders.
Okay. Okay. I'd love to know.
If
So
it
how
would be
did you?
helpful, I could read the industries that we
Yeah.
spoke to. There were 8 in total. So agriculture, food, natural resources, architecture and construction, business management / marketing, sales and services, education and training, health sciences, hospitality and tourism, human services, and information technology were the 8.
Okay. Yeah, great. How did you go about recruiting people for your focus groups?
Thanks, Chair Jacobs. So we worked with Dr. Grant and got our members that serve on our advisory committees, and then also board members provided us recommendations as well. So we took all of that together and then reached out, and some of those individuals also at those industries recommended others that they wanted us to include, and so it just kind of had a nice domino effect from there of wanting to be able to participate. And so some took advantage of the survey, and then others took advantage of virtual focus groups that Hanover conducted for us. And those were anonymous in the sense that we know who participated, but it was conducted by Hanover, and they knew that the information would be collective and utilized to guide us.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, thank you. Great job. Very exciting. And kudos to Dr. Vasquez for this idea. And I think, who was it? I think it was maybe Vice Chair who said it's all about the implementation in the end. So, and the timer isn't started, so I could just ramble on, but but I won't. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair Jacobs. Thank you, board members.
All right, we are on to the consent agenda. We have no public hearings. Do we have any public comments?
No.
All right, with no public comments, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
There's a clear winner there in Vice Chair.
Well, I put on my.
I know you did, and I saw you leaning
She just
into
was-
it, but yeah.
Fine. Then I
All right.
second.
Do we have a second? Thank you. All right, motion by Vice Chair, second by Member Salamanca. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. That takes us to informational reports. Dr. Vasquez.
So I have 3 items. The first one is an update on our Science of Reading competition. We've had some movement and a request. So we currently have Member Gould, who is still in the lead. However, we have Board Member Ferrant at 188, Board Member Felder at 189, Board Member Byrd at 189, Board Member Castrodeno at 183, and Board Member Salamanca at 149. So a request has come. I'm sorry?
No, she didn't mention Member.
No, you are last.
I didn't hear.
Oh,
Vice
Gallo.
Chair.
Oh, my gosh. Gallo didn't even show up on mine.
I was going to say, I didn't hear you talking about.
Because they put me at the top,
They
because
did.
I will always be District 1 regardless of these horrible rankings that I would like a recount on.
Well, so here's the request, and I'm going to take it back to the team. No.
I win, just for the record. I win.
Because
I get all of them.
You get all of them.
There you go.
But the request has been made, and we know that, yes, we are a large district, but some districts have more schools than others, and enrollment varies, and thus teachers vary. So a request has been made that we look at percentage of teachers to determine who the
believe
winner
that's true.
is, so no one is penalized.
Absolutely.
I think that's a fabulous idea.
Absolutely.
So we will, yes.
I have the least amount of schools.
I have
So
two.
we will recalculate and we'll look at percentage.
I don't know.
Yes,
Messing
well,
with
I am just
methodology
so
over
excited that we have so many that are signed up. So that we will come up with additional data as we're scoring who's in the lead. Second, I do want to recognize, and I believe something was stated at pre-agenda, but I do want everyone to know we had 2 individuals last week as part of FADS and FSBA. The Pineapple Awards is an award that is given, I think this is the 2nd or 3rd year, and we actually had 2 individuals from Orange County that were honored. The first was Doreen Concolino, our own CFO for Excellence in Education Fiscal Management. And second was Cliff Long, the Excellence in Education Corporate Partnership.
Wow, that's awesome.
So it was very nice. It had a great reception, and it's always just such an incredible feeling that they're recognizing the incredible people that support OCPS and make it the very special place it is. And then my final comments, I'm actually going to defer to staff. Mr. Pacheco, our CEO, is going to come up and do an introduction of Mr. Wheeler. And as you know, we are in the process of going out for an RFP for some of our benefits, and I want the board to be aware of a little bit of what the process will entail, some of the dates and the background, and that we will keep you updated and posted through this process that will take a couple of months. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Pacheco.
Yes, good evening, Chair, board members, Superintendent. This evening, we just want to provide you with an update. There's going to be an RFP that is going to be coming out. I don't know if you had the pleasure of meeting David Wheeler before. He's a Senior Director of Procurement Services. At one time, I had that hat, so I was able to hire somebody much better than I was at that position, so that's always good. So he will be able to give you a little bit of background on the RFP, what are we trying to do, the timeline for it, as well as some of the things that are going to take place during some of those items that he's going to be listing. So this time I hand it over to David.
All right, thank you. So I just have 2 real quick slides to share. So just a little bit of background. So we are about to conduct the RFP, as mentioned, for our employee health insurance. So an RFP, if you're not aware, is a best value procurement. It's not always based off low price. We take other factors into account when evaluating the vendors and the proposals that we receive. As with all procurement solicitations, the process is managed by procurement services. We're not voting members. We just facilitate and chair the process to make sure that it, follows all policies, procedures, and things like that. And the evaluation committee for this one is going to be comprised of 12 evaluation committee members. We have representatives from each bargaining unit on it, district staff, district lead, or school-based leaders. So we have a very diverse evaluation committee. And then just briefly, the schedule. I'll talk a little bit about what happens during each of these steps. So we're anticipating being prepared to post this solicitation tomorrow. As with all solicitations, the no contact period starts once we post that. So no one, vendors, any district staff should be talking to anybody about it. It shall be facilitated through the procurement office. Any questions? We will have a pre-proposal meeting. So this is a public meeting that any interested party can attend. It's open to the public. We have a WebEx link, so if people cannot physically make it, it's well accessible. And we do that with all RFPs, not just this one specifically. There is a request for information deadline, so during that pre-proposal meeting, vendors can ask questions on the process. We do review how they submit their RFP, go through the process in detail. We do ask them to follow up with their questions in writing so we can provide a written response, and that's what the request for information deadline is. It's usually about a day after the pre-proposal meeting. That gives us time to compile our answers and then publicly post our answers in writing so everybody has the same information when they're preparing their RFP response. We have several weeks after that where responses will be due. Just prior to that, though, we do have a training session for our evaluation committee members. We do electronic evaluations. The meeting will be in person, and we go over with the committee members their roles and responsibilities, how the evaluation will go, and answer any questions that they may have. Then the responses are due. They're due usually at 2 p.m. We don't accept anything late, to ensure fairness and equity. Then a few weeks after that, we'll have the evaluation committee meeting. So this is another public meeting where potential vendors, interested parties, they can attend. We do also provide a WebEx link for that as well. So it is publicly accessible. We post our notice of intended decision usually the same day. So this is an opportunity if a vendor feels that, there was a flaw in the process or anything, there is a protest opportunity, which is allowable by our board policy and Florida statute. The evaluation committee will determine if there's a need to move forward into an interview or presentation with a certain number of the vendors who responded. If they need to get more information, something was unclear, they want to interview the vendors, that is an option, but it is not a requirement. We do post a notice of intended decision at that time as well. And that's another period where if a vendor feels that there was an error in the process, they can protest at that point as well. And right now we are targeting board approval for sometime in September. Right now we're looking at the September 10th board meeting. So that's all the information I have. Dr. Vasquez?
Thank you. And I do want to acknowledge that Beth Curran is also here. She, Dave, Doreen, and the team has really worked diligently to ensure that the RFP itself is aligned with best practices, that it allows us to get the very best for our employees as a result of the process. And so I'm very grateful for all the time and energy that has been expended on this process. Madam Chair, we're able to take any questions the board may have.
Thank you. Vice Chair?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the pharmacy portion of this was on did that bid already go out? Because we're bidding them separately, correct?
Yes, that's correct. They are two separate RFPs, but the schedule will follow very closely, but they will be separate RFPs.
Because I think on the email that we got today about stuff that was going out to bid that were in the cone of silence, I saw the pharmacy was already on it.
That one has not been posted yet.
It hasn't?
No.
Okay, because it was on the email that we got with the list.
We'll do, we originally thought we were going to be able to release it earlier, or late last week, and then the team was taking another look at it. So we will send an email to the board when it is released so that you're aware of it. This is a tentative schedule that is subject, to change, but we'll keep you posted.
Great. And then the evaluation committee, is that the same as fringe benefits, or is that a different committee? And if it's different, then when is fringe benefits going to be looking at this? Okay.
Superintendent, just one clarification, I'm sorry. I went back to the listing, the pharmacy benefit was under the list of the ones coming out in the next 30 days.
Okay.
So it's not posted yet, that one has a date of the 12 as well.
Okay, thank you.
So the committee to review is not Fringe, but it does have representatives from Fringe, CTA and OSPA reps on the committee. Now, what will happen after we select the vendor? It goes to Fringe to determine benefits, because if we change vendors, we have to make sure the benefits are correct. So then it'll go to Fringe so they can make the benefits to make the recommendation to the bargaining team.
Okay, so after a vendor's been approved, that's at the point that it goes to Fringe?
Correct.
Okay, perfect, thank you. I think that this is going to be probably one of the biggest purchasing decisions as a board that we've made to date, just because of the impact to our employees is going to be huge, because insurance is just astronomical, and I know that everybody is feeling the pinch of that. I would like to thank your team, Dr. Vasquez, because I think the entire board said we really need this to be transparent. We need it to be open. We need to make sure that everybody out there that wants to apply know that this is open. And y'all have done a great job with that. From just building in the processes, bringing in outside people to help with the RFP. I'm very confident in this process and this procedure, and I'm confident that the best person or the best company will win this bid. So I just thank y'all for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Was that number 3? All right. Thank you so much. Nice to see you in person. All right, Dr. Vasquez, anything else on your report? All right, Ms. Enval.
2 things. Number 1, we are going to meet with our fellow school board attorneys Friday and Saturday of this week. So if there is anything that you wish for us to bring up in our discussions, let me know or John know individually so that we can bring that up to them. And secondly, I know you received the tentative schedule for the superintendent's evaluation, and I wanted to know for mine, would you like it to be before, during, or after? Or do you want to think about that?
I would like it to be as soon as possible because it's been like a year and a half. We're going on 2 years that there hasn't been an evaluation for the general counsel, and there really should be an annual evaluation. So we really should have done this last year, not this year. So in my mind, it needs to be as soon as possible because it should have happened a lot sooner than right now. It should have happened last year. And so I'm a little disappointed that it's been this long in between evaluations. So I would like it as soon as possible.
Okay. Member Salamanca? Okay. Second issue?
No, that was it.
Okay, that was 2. Okay. I was going to open it up to board members, but I don't have to because Member Salamanca.
I had to be on cue before parents come pick up my fellows, so I had to, it's hard to estimate what time we're done here every day, so I'm just working with magic here. But I have my summer fellows here with me. They've been with us since the beginning of this morning, since 11 a.m., our communications committee, so they got a full deep dive of everything. I'll give you, if you just wave so folks know who you are. Okay, Nandana is from Lake Nona High School. She's very involved in all things SGA, dual enrollment, right, as well. And she potentially wants to be a teacher. This, we have the whole summer to convince her that's the correct path. Megha, there's Megha. Megha is also a rising junior at Lake Nona. She wants to be a computer engineer, loves math and science and STEM. And so we're happy to have her. Then we have Katarina. So Katarina is from Colonial, also a rising senior. Okay, SGA president. Senior class president. Okay, sorry. I was which one it is. And then she wants to be in marketing after. We have Arisha. There we go. Also Colonial, rising senior as well. No, it's junior. Okay. And wants to be in criminal law or forensics. So potentially a future lawyer. And then we got Diego. Diego's from Lake Nona. All things robotics, wants to have a PhD in physics. Awesome. Rising junior.
Very good. All right.
So welcome. They will each be working on really interesting projects over the summer, and then at the end of the summer, they'll present to the board on some of their ideas, and giving their perspective on a portrait of a graduate would be one of them.
Awesome. Nice.
So get ready.
Yeah, very cool. Good job, Member
District
Salamanca.
2, look at that.
Woo. Paving the way.
Paving the way.
Paving the way, yes. Okay, Vice Chair Gallo, do you really want to talk now?
Well,
Everybody bring the board up.
yeah. Good job, Maria. I was actually queued up because I wanted to ask about our general counsel's evaluation, but we already discussed that. and I know we're in the process of getting Dr. Vasquez's evaluation. I just want to say there might be a few extra points for really kind of digging in deep and thinking about problem solving when it comes to like schools and percentages. I think that that's an innovative approach. And I just want to publicly state kudos to you and your team for thinking outside the box when you realized that an injustice had been served.
Great, remember that on my eval.
Okay. All right. If there's nothing else, let me double check.
One more thing.
Okay, one more thing. Member Bird?
Yes. Just real quick, I just want to give a shout out to our Vice Chair Member Gallo again, because she was officially sworn in as the Florida School Boards Association President-elect. So we're very proud of her that she is going to be in that role this year representing Orange County. She does such a great job advocating for kids and kind of, speaking up for what needs to be done that's right for kids. And so I think she's the perfect person for that role. So we're very proud of her, and it's going to be a great year.
Absolutely. So
Good
true.
job, Member Gallo.
Vice Chair? No, I think that was old. Member Felder?
Yes, and I'm also very grateful for our meeting, and I want to thank OCPS for the support you guys gave me in having my first little meeting at the state as the chair for coalition. That front table was just filled with OCPS, and let me just tell you, everybody talked about the gifts that we gave. No one else gave those kinds of gifts, and I just felt so supported, and thank you so much. Yes, I was a chairperson, and I led my first meeting in the state level, and then they said it was done well. People got through, got finished, and Dr. Bridget Williams was there helping me. Yes, so thank you guys.
Well done.
Thank you. So we are truly the leader.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. On
Yes,
that
baby,
on
that
that
was
positive note, meeting adjourned.
Oh, fine, yeah. 6:31.